Good morning, Adrian.
Hello.
I'm Phoenix. It's a pleasure to meet you. Well, we haven't
It's
been.
nice to meet you too.
Put my glasses on.
Oh, hi, Miss Adrian. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you all also. I'm getting my video together so you all can see me. I'm actually I did realize my mom had to go to the doctor, so I'm sitting in my car while she's in the doctor's office. So
Gotcha.
participate.
Gotcha.
Here.
Okay. Okay. Y'all having a great Tuesday?
Yes, ma'am. Despite the weather that's coming.
Yes, it's raining here, so okay.
Oh, no. Well, it's supposed to rain here soon enough.
Yeah, we're supposed to have some rain on the way. Hadn't gotten here yet. Oh, goodness. Ooh. Miss Adrian, where are you currently, if you don't mind? I know we're going to go over this in the...
In Birmingham.
Birmingham? That's my hometown. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, whoops. There we go.
I don't have any music for us today, Erin. I'm sorry.
You're good. I don't know what that looks like, but I guess.
Oh, you want to do full screen?
I was okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. If it's the PDF, you should be able to right click on it and yeah. Okay.
With that. Well,
if it's in Google, I don't know why we can't see your settings, but it's a view box on Google's. Hold on. Yeah, if you hit the three dots and you see where it says Zoom, all the way to the right, it's a little like box that shows you. Oh no. Uh-oh.
Phoenix, do you want to share it?
I can. Hold
Me
on, let me pull it up. No problem. I got you. Let me go to why can I not see this? Uh-oh.
It doesn't have to. If I can, if ever.
Oh, no. I just saw an email for some strange reason I did not see beforehand. Sorry.
You're good.
This is for something else.
And Amanda Rice, our second guest, she contacted me just a few minutes ago, and she's going to be about 5 minutes late today.
Okay.
And I told her we'd still let her on. Still let her.
Hey, Marley.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Can y'all guys see me? Or like, maybe turn around.
And I don't know if you all are looking for someone else for next time, but I sort of put the word out to my director.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Chris Hatcher, if you all would be interested, because he's been in several different leadership positions and he's a graduate from the program also.
Okay. We've got, let's see here. Through April, we have guests lined up, and I think next time we're doing Tracy Chapman and Sharonica Carr. But so we're going to go through April, and we're kind of like, we're going to do this this was kind of a test to see how it went. But then if students are really interested and faculty enjoyed this as well, and they thought this was meaningful, we may line up more and do this again next semester.
Okay. Sounds
so
good.
Definitely look for more
I
guests.
just know I work with several of the graduates in at the city of Birmingham in various departments, and I know that they would be willing to participate.
That'd be fantastic. So I'll definitely write his name down. And yeah, which I would love to do this again next semester. So if the conditions are right and we want to keep doing it, then he may hear from us.
Okay, great.
Oh, Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, perfect.
Actually, I'm gonna back out of there. There we go. Yep.
There we go. How are you today, Dr. Rukamana?
Doing good. How about you, Erin?
I'm good. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Hey, Phoenix. How are you?
Hello. Put my jacket on. I'm cold.
It is pretty cold in here.
I talked with Amanda Rice just a minute ago. She said she'll be a few minutes late today.
Hi, Heidi.
Is Heidi here?
It's
Oh,
Heidi here.
right. Hey, you're on mute. Oh,
Okay. Hi, y'all. Hi.
hello.
Oh,
Hey, hi,
Yeah.
Venetia. Hi, Marley. Oh my gosh. Hi, Will. Hi, Louie. Okay, I have another one at 12, but I wanted to come on and say hi to everyone.
Oh my goodness. How
I'm
are
gonna be
you?
one on my phone. I got my phone and so I'll be in and out.
Look
Love
at you
y'all.
on us.
Hello, Marley.
Hey, Dr. Rumana. How are you doing
Very
today?
good to see you. I'm good. Adrienne, I don't think we already met, right?
well, we met at I think the last Banneker.
Oh, I see. Banneker. Okay. Very good to see you
Yes.
again.
Nice to see you also.
There we go. Oh. Okay. My screen isn't too distracting, is it, Erin? I can absolutely.
I don't think so. And we still have several people that are joining us. They're still coming in. So we can give people a few more minutes.
No worries, no worries.
So, and people that are, I guess, people that are joining us now that are part of the program, we would love to, if y'all have anything that, any questions or anything as we're going through the discussion today, feel free to throw them in the chat or raise your hand or let us know, because we'd love to interact with everybody. And two, if y'all have any topics of interest that y'all want us to maybe find guests specific for, either this, I guess the next semester, we've got through April filled out, but let us know, throw it in the chat or just contact us and make sure we're aware.
Yes, we are finding out we are well connected. And if
Yes.
we have somebody, we'll find somebody that knows somebody. So that's the whole point of all of that.
Yes. So.
Can I just say I'm tired of the cold? I know weather is one of them things that people, talk about when they don't have anything else to talk about. I'm sick of the winter. Can we just get spring, please?
I mean, I like the cold. I mean,
No.
it doesn't bother me,
Y'all can
but
keep this.
I do too.
gotcha. I do love the cold.
No. Outfit wise, sure. Lifestyle wise, no. You can keep this. 70 degrees one day, 26 the next. Y'all can have it. Do not want it. Yes.
So where are you from, Phoenix, originally?
Originally from Birmingham, I attended Arthur Harrod Parker High School.
Oh,
Got to throw that in
okay.
there. Oh, don't look to the side. What was that?
You always have to throw that in there.
I do. There's no other high school we love as Parker High. Don't make me get on this thing and start singing. We are recording. I know.
Okay, but I'll have to put in there WHS Woodland High School, those kernels. Yeah.
That's okay. I love Woodline, especially when we were doing like JRTC competitions. Woodline's team was pretty good, like great, in fact, actually.
Thank you.
They were our competition. I give credit where credit is due. You know, I won't hate. Y'all aren't my high school though, so you know, and as long as you aren't Carver, you know, that's I am a lot more gracious in that.
Well, I went to Ramsey, so I'm from Birmingham too.
No ma'am. No ma'am. Hello. Is it Miss Cummings? Hey, we might be cousins. Hold on. Hi.
Hey,
Hello. Where's your family? We're not gonna even do this. No, we're not. My Cummings is in my family. That's why I'm kind of looking sideways. And I forgive you for going to Rams. It's okay. You didn't know. It's all right. It's really fine. I
Related
love
to Chris Cummings, are you?
yeah,
Chris
that's my
Cummings.
father. That's
That's
my
my
dad.
dad.
Oh, Chris was in the program with me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I know Chris.
Amanda just joined us, so super excited to see her. Where's she
Hey
at?
y'all.
Hi, Amanda. Nice
Hello.
Hey, it's good to see y'all.
Good to see you too.
I'm sorry I was late. I apologize.
Good.
I think it was exciting because people are like making connections, so it's fantastic. That's what we're here for. So do we go ahead and get started?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. For those of y'all that weren't on here last time, or if anyone has forgotten, Phoenix and I, we're here locally. We're in Huntsville. Yeah. So there's Phoenix. So we are, we work for the Top of Alabama Regional Council of Governments. If anyone ever needs anything, if you ever want to chat, holler at us. We're happy to do so. And so our guest today on the call, we're excited to have Amanda Rice. She is now make sure I get this right, Corporate Development Manager for the Harvest Hope Food Bank in South Carolina. That's a recent development, and we're excited for her. We also have Miss Adrienne Stitt, and she is the Deputy Director of Community Development with the City of Birmingham. So we're very excited to have both of them with us today. And as Chantrell Lowe told us on our last call, be selfish with your resources. So while we have them both with us, ask them questions and take advantage of it, because they're just mines of information. And just a side note, next month, we're moving our call to Monday, April 18th. So put that on your calendars. Still from 12 to 1, but to accommodate for Miss Chapman, which we're excited to have her too. We had to move it to Monday. So just a side note. All right. Anything you want to add, Phoenix, or anybody else before we jump into it? No? Okay. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was unmuting. I just wanted to say I'm just happy to be here. And I'm gonna be goofy the whole time because I'm happy. That is all.
You're good. I love it. All right. Do I go back one slide if you don't mind? Okay. All right. So we've got some questions here in front of us, and this is just more or less just to guide our conversation. We don't have to hit all of these questions because I know based on last time, once we get to talking and we get into different, we can get off topic, but it's good stuff. But so I guess the first thing, just for Miss Stitt or Amanda, why did both of you, I guess first off, let's do this. What do both of you do? What are your jobs? What's your title? And what do you do on a regular basis?
Okay, so I am the Corporate Development Manager for Harvest Hope Food Bank. And essentially, so I should preface this with saying I've only been here for a month now. And so what I do changes every day. And I learned that I need to be doing something else and adding something else every day, which is cool for me because I enjoy those type of environments. So my responsibility is nurturing and building relationships with our current donors So corporate donors. So when I say corporate donors, think of everyone from major banking institutions and insurance companies all the way down to a small business owner in a local region. And so that's what I do. And then another part of what I'm supposed to be doing is reaching out and getting new donors and sponsors and nurturing those relationships. But at the end of the day, my job is to make sure that we still have enough funding to feed people.
Okay, and I'm Adrian Stitt. I serve as one of 4 deputy directors in community development in Birmingham. And I manage the public service part of community development, where we receive entitlement funds from HUD, and those are the CDBG, which is Community Development Block Grant, the Home Investment Partnership Program funds, the Emergency Solutions Grant funds, and the HOPWA funds, which are funds for housing opportunities for persons with AIDS. So we manage those funds. It's a ongoing cycle of public hearings, grant applications, monitoring, and closeout. So we do that for all of those programs over and over. It's a staff just in the public service area of about 7 individuals. Then we have our accounting staff, we have housing staff, we have community resource staff that goes out and directly help the 99 neighborhoods in Birmingham. And then we also are affiliated with the City of Birmingham's Land Bank Authority. So in a nutshell, I'm managing staff to oversee the grant funding that we receive from HUD.
Wow. That's fantastic. I think there's probably some students that I've talked to recently on the call that may be interested in what you do. That's fantastic. Okay, so given what y'all do now, why did y'all pursue a degree in urban planning?
So my introduction to planning started when I was working for a construction management firm. And my job title at that time was internship coordinator. But so I was responsible for hiring, recruiting, firing interns for a construction firm that I worked for. And then in addition to that, I had to create projects for them to work on. And I didn't realize at the time, but those projects were essentially planning projects. And some of the engineers in the area that I was working with was like, hey, Amanda, you ever thought about being a planner? And I was like, I don't know what that is. What do you mean? It was like, it's basically what you're doing right now. You should do it. I was like, okay. And so I went down a rabbit hole, and that's kind of how I was introduced to planning via construction standpoint, project management. And then once I realized after watching several YouTube videos and TED Talks, realized that, oh, it's people out here making decisions for my neighborhood, and they've never been in my neighborhood before. And I want to make sure that when people are talking about my neighborhood, that I have a seat at the table. And I want to make sure that the decisions they're making are best for the people that I love and serve, right? And so that's how, well, I'll rewind. And so then I decided I needed to go to grad school. I'm from South Carolina, and the only school at that time that had a planning program was Clemson. I didn't want to go to Clemson. I wanted to go to a HBCU, and I wanted to stay in the South. And so that's how I ended up at Alabama. Yeah.
Okay. My introduction to planning was actually at Alabama A&M University. I was there as a finance major. Learned that finance department wasn't accredited, so I was getting ready to leave. My friends knew that I had a desire to work for the city and to serve back in Birmingham where I live. So they had been in a class where the department had come around and was talking. I guess they were recruiting, trying to get students into the department. And they were like, hey, I just heard something that I think you would love. And they actually took me to the department. I think I went to one class. I ain't gonna talk about that class, but I went to that class and I ended up with actually an internship for the summer with the city of Birmingham in the planning department. And that sealed the deal. When I came back, I changed my major and I've been in planning, well, in some type of way since pretty much, I think, my sophomore year at Alabama A&M. And I have my master's and my bachelor's from the program.
Awesome. So you're an alumni of both our undergraduate and our graduate program. That's fantastic. Okay, so obviously, Ms. Stitt, you took advantage of like an internship opportunity. But are there any other opportunities you took advantage of while you were in the DCR program or DCRP program? And have those impacted or shaped your career today?
I had internships every year after that. I had the opportunity to continue to come back to Birmingham and intern with the city. And then when I transitioned into my graduate program, I actually one of our alumni came back and they were working for a nonprofit. So I did an internship with them at one time. It was called Neighborhood Housing of Birmingham. It no longer exists now. Ivan Holloway, I don't know if y'all know him, but he was working there and recruited a couple of us to come do internships there. Then I also did an internship at Jefferson County the following year. So I just had various internship opportunities from knowing people within a department and from going to the conferences. I think we met the director of Jefferson County there, and he wanted us to come intern for him. So
that's fantastic. Actually, I met Ivan at one of the last conferences we had, and he actually used to be a planner at either for the city of Athens or in Athens. Somehow we had some type of overlapping background like that, and he's fantastic. But he works for the Civil Rights Trail now, doesn't he?
He is with a nonprofit called Urban Impact, and they do work with the small businesses that's in our, like, one of the historic districts, 4th Avenue district in Birmingham, which is, yeah. So he does play a part in the civil rights planning for the area, because they're not far from the Civil Rights Museum.
Okay, yeah, he's fantastic.
And just another plug in to this conversation. I also had a internship with Ivan Holloway my freshman year when I decided to go over to planning. So yeah, that was one. He's amazing. He's amazing.
Plug it in.
Yeah.
Marley, we need to talk.
I have mentioned this before, but definitely, we definitely.
Oh man. So Amanda, did you what all did you do? What opportunities did you take advantage of while you were in the DCRP program, and how have they impacted you?
So I think one of the things I did the most is just make my presence known in the department, and talking to Heidi, talking to Dr. Yen and Dr. E especially, and just expressing the type of things that I was interested in and how I wanted to use my degree. Because in doing that, I was able to get not only confirmation that it was possible, but learn the avenues I should take, right? And then with talking to Heidi, as y'all probably know, Heidi always knows a person, right? And she can always put you on, and she'd be like, oh, such and such does that. Oh, I think you would be good at this. Oh, I think, and so that helped a lot. I did intern yeah, I did intern while I was there. I was what did I do? A stip dig. I forget what the acronym stands for, but essentially it was an internship with Federal Highway. And that put me in contact with a lot of other A&M alum as well. Trying to think of, so I'll say this too. One of the things that has been beneficial for me in my career is still being connected with DCRP. So while I was looking for a job these past 6 months or so, trying to figure out what I want to do next, I interviewed 2 out of the 3 offers that were presented to me came from A&M alum. And that was because I got on a call like this and I saw an alumna, y'all know what I'm trying to say. And Dr. E, I was like, oh my God, I really want to talk to her. And before I could send her a message on LinkedIn, Dr. E was already saying, Amanda, I think you need to talk to this person. I think y'all would hit it off, right? And then the other contact that I made was through someone from my cohort, who has always looked out for me and was like, oh, Amanda, I think you'd be great for this. Here's the contact person. You should apply. So staying connected has significantly helped me in shaping my career path currently.
I love that. And that's something we've heard a lot is like alumni, like talk to your alumni because they're a resource. And so yeah, I just wanted to emphasize that. Don't be scared to reach out to your alumni. They're a resource. We're here. Okay. So after graduation, you just got your degree. What was your first job? What was your first job title? What organization was it with? Where was it located? Was it your dream job? Who wants to take that?
My first job, my title was assistant planner / mitigation specialist in the city of Milton, Florida, which is in the Panhandle, which is about 45 minutes from Mobile, Alabama. So I was basically in Lower Alabama. Was it a dream job? Nope. It was the job that offered the quickest. And so I was able to not have to pay an additional month of rent in Huntsville. That's literally kind of what determined me going there. I originally wanted to work in Texas and either they didn't offer or they didn't interview me until a month after I had already moved to Florida. And so because it was such a small city, that means our staff was very small and I worked directly under our director. And then we had a current planner. So he was like our zoning person. And his degree was like in GIS. So he didn't go to school for planning per se. And then we had an admin and then we had code enforcement. And code enforcement really just did just that. So I had to read the code and interpret the code, write up violations, and then give it to her to then distribute out. And to be honest, when I got the job, and I don't know what made me read over the job description again, but I said to myself, what in the world did I tell these people I knew how to do for me to get this job? Because what they're describing, I don't know if I could do this. But I think it also speaks to the confidence that I left A&M with, right? The confidence in knowing that I can do any job. As long as you give me the interview, you're probably gonna hire me. But yeah, it wasn't my dream job. It wasn't a dream location. The beaches were nice, but outside of that, it served its purpose and it gave me the additional skills that I needed to craft my resume. And so because we were so small, not only did I do housing, but I did transportation and we worked on historic preservation. We were in a military town, so we had that to keep in mind as well. And so I kind of got to touch a lot of aspects of planning because we were so, the city was small in itself, but our staff was very limited in resources.
That's it.
Okay. My first position was actually with ALDOT, Alabama Department of Transportation in Montgomery, Alabama. I was a planner, a transportation planner. I don't like transportation. That was not my favorite subject. I think undergrad, my specialty was environmental, and then grad, it was housing and community development. What I did learn though, once I finally got that job, was that I could do, like Amanda said, I could do whatever. I stopped limiting where I applied for positions. I stopped looking at, that title, historic preservation or whatever it was. If it was somewhere I liked and they had descriptions that were something that I was interested in doing, I would apply. It just grounded me in knowing that I could take what I knew, what I learned at A&M in planning, and apply it to any one of those specialties. I know we have, the different specialties that you can concentrate in, but you can go somewhere else and do transportation. You can do historic preservation. You can do zoning. You can do whatever it is. You just find what you like and then you stick with it.
Amen.
Yes. And I guess I just have two comments there. One, I'm happy to know that ALDOT actually employs planners, because I've always had a question about whether their planners are actually planners or just engineers. So that's good to know. But two, I think our program really does give you it puts the tools in the toolbox, right? We have all the tools in our toolbox when we leave to do any job. So it's really just up to us to figure out how to use them. And I think if you look at our alumni, we have a very successful alumni base.
And I'm gonna say, I don't know if you wanna, the state says it's planning, and it is, but it's on a higher level where you're just reviewing other municipalities' transportation plans.
Gotcha.
That was a little boring to me. I wanted to be more hands-on instead of doing the reviewing. It was just a little different. So,
Gotcha.
but we have people reviewing, making sure all the T's are crossed, I's dotted, but it's not, to me, it wasn't what I wanted to do at the time. Now I go back and do something like that now as I progress in my years and get ready to retire, but not in the beginning. That's not what I wanted.
Gotcha.
Can I just make a really quick point? And I hope I'm not breaking up, because I know I've been quiet because my computer, I think because I'm sharing, it's making really weird kind of noises or whatever. But I hope current students are listening to this, the gems that are being dropped. Your first job is probably not going to be what you think it is, but don't be afraid at all to take it, because the exposure 9 times out of 10 will be there. 2, y'all do have a dope alumni base, which again is really, really cool. And I do hope students throughout this whole series that we're doing get in front of these people and, just talk to them. I hope it's not a situation where anybody is intimidated, but as you saw, in the beginning before, the whole thing kind of got started, the alumni are cool, they're chill, they are credentialed, they're experienced, but they're absolutely willing to help. So I just want to emphasize at this point in us talking to please, please, please get in front of your alumni and talk to them. That's all I got. Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Oh, I love you, Phoenix. Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to make that plug. Our program's great. It puts the tools in our toolbox, and I think it creates planners we can tackle anything. So how did y'all get from that first job to where you are now? Because Amanda, you're working at a food bank, which is not something typically that we think of when we think of planning, right? But you're still serving a population.
That's right.
And
so I'll start with I left Florida right around before COVID became like COVID. But I read the tea leaves and I was like, I gotta get out of here. So it got a little crazy, right? But so I ended up being a long-term planner for Greenville County. So I was doing that, and every job that I've had, I've always tried to center my job description around my personal mission and vision and what I want to do and how I want to make an impact. And so for me, that has always been centering Black and Brown people and making sure they have a seat at the table to make the decisions best for their community, right? And so when I was in my job search, I was looking for jobs that specifically lean towards those things. So yes, I'm at a food bank now, but the skills that I've accumulated as a planner and before what I was doing prior to is the, as Tabaris would say, the social engineering part. It's the knowing people and how people engage with one another and how to connect with people. And so as I would just call myself a fundraiser for this conversation. So as a fundraiser, I use my planning skills as knowing where our hotspots are for food insecurity, utilizing the data. So if anybody has ever taken Dr. O's class, he always speaks about the data. And he always says, if you don't have the data to justify what you're trying to say, that means you don't get the money. That means you don't get the job. That means you don't get the exposure that you're looking for whatever city you're working at, whatever nonprofit you're at, you have to have that data. So that was one of the things that served me very well while I was interviewing, is that I always was able to pull on data to prove my point. And so with that being said, that's kind of how I lean on that side of my skills and expertise a lot. And Harvest Hope actually reached out to me. I applied for my boss's job and I didn't get it. And when he was searching for someone to fill this position, he told them to give me everyone that applied for my job that was in the running for my job. And so that's how they ended up contacting me. I never thought that I would be working at a food bank. However, it speaks to my personal mission and vision. And I have a leadership team. My manager is very intentional and wants me to be intentional on how I use this job as a gateway to serve my personal mission and vision. And I don't know if that answers the question. I feel like I rambled, so I'll stop. But yeah, that's how I ended up here.
That's great. And also it speaks to the fact that just because we get a degree in planning, just because our degree has, planner on it, doesn't mean that we have to settle for if we don't want to, for that traditional city planner role or that traditional, regional planner. There's other jobs that this qualifies us for that we still serve communities beyond that traditional role that we always think of. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know me personally, I can't sit at a desk. And when I realized that's what I was going to be doing most of the time as a traditional planner, I knew I had to rethink what my service as a planner looked like. Because like right now, I'm not even in the office. I'm at a coffee shop and I'm talking to y'all. And this is as important as the meeting that I had before I hopped on this call, right? So I think part of it too is understanding and realizing, what do you want out of a job? And so that it's not just a job, and figure out how you want to contribute to society, and then have that job fit into your space and not the other way around.
Love that. Okay, so Ms. Stitt, kind of how did you get from your first job with ALDOT to where you are now as the deputy director of?
Okay. And that was well said, Amanda. After I stayed at LDOT 6 months to go into another transportation planner position, but it was a new position, and it was actually at United Way. So they were needing a transportation planner to just set up and get their clients from one place to the other. So I went in there, and I think that's the best type of jobs to have, a job that they just created, where you can set the pace and set the standards. And that was great. But I didn't stay there long either, because my whole mission was to do something using Amanda work as intentional for the citizens of Birmingham. Like I said, I don't like transportation planning, but that program has grown through United Way. They end up eventually having a whole nother transportation system come out of that branched out from United Way. And it's like a secondary system now, ClassTran actually, that works with our public transportation system. So, hey, that was good to see. But after United Way, while at United Way, a position came open at the city of Birmingham in the planning department. And of course, I took that position. It was in long range planning. The director, well, actually the deputy director at the time, was getting promoted to director of community development. And I knew from working there a couple years that I didn't want to make the plans. I wanted to implement the plans. And that's what I see in community development. And we did that. We took the plans that we developed for the neighborhoods and we implemented them through community development. We implemented the housing initiatives, set up some housing counseling programs through the funding that we were receiving. So, I mean, I just got in community development and I worked as a planner throughout. I've been in the housing division, the grants division, worked with the resource officers. So just, I guess, being there for a long time and absorbing the knowledge from all the different divisions, able to move up. They saw something in me. And here I am. I mean, I've been in this position for like 3 years where I can actually help and, guide who can receive funds. Like Amanda was saying, neighborhood, we have a lot of nonprofit organizations and it's still planning, but you're planning for a specific group. So there are other planners that work for nonprofits. So don't ever, think nonprofits are not the way to go. You're just serving a specific population. And if you do what Amanda has done, find that job that's you, that you want to do, then I think you'll do very well in planning for that particular population. So you can take all of this and make it your own and keep growing, keep doing the professional development. Most of the time, I think just in the last couple years, I did not attend a planning conference. I did not, attend the state conference. I transitioned over when I got more involved in community development and started going to those conferences that were specific to HUD and the funding that we received. So that's it. But that group does recognize planning and they make sure, and it's called the National Community Development Association. They ensure that you can get AICP credits for attending any of their conferences. So that's a little plug for that too. But if you want to learn more about, the different type of HUD programs and funding and network, because they have a great network too. that's an organization to look into in their different trainings and conferences.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm over here making notes.
Same. Can I just really quick plug my mom for saying that she works at Class Tran, and I really didn't know how Class Tran kind of fit into like the city's transportation system, but that's dope. Shout out, Mom. I gotta tell her that. Like,
Yeah, because right now Class Tran actually picks up door to door for those clients that really disabled seniors. They can call Class Tran and Class Tran will pick them up, take them to the doctor's office, wherever they need to go. It's cool.
it is. I've called her on numerous occasions in the morning. That phone goes off religiously. I've heard her talk to a lot of the clients, but it lets me know that how important that service is to the community. So I do like the fact that even though she doesn't have a planning background per se, that she's still actively involved in community development, helping, those kind of vulnerable groups get to the things that they need to get to. Another way that you can get involved in planning, ladies and gentlemen. See, it all ties together. Yes.
Yes. It's just so cool to see how all these pieces fit together in our communities, because they do, it all works together. All right, so I know we've kind of already touched on this a little bit, but just for anyone that on the call that may be interested in the specifics, how or why did you select the role or the field that you currently work in? What pulled you to that, whether it's I know it's not transportation for Miss Adrian, but for like community development or sustainability. I think it's community development is probably the main thing here, but why did y'all select the field you're in?
Well, community development for me, I really enjoyed it in grad school, and just, there's a lot of history there where you're learning and you're seeing about redlining and how our communities just had been not planned or overlooked, or different segments were given away because we didn't have a voice at the table. You couldn't get loans, and if you had one, your house urban renewal. I mean, they wiped out a lot of communities to put in transportation systems, actually, our highways, our rail line. So that was very interesting to me. So, and it's always nice because one of the parts that I really love initially when I got into community development, I think as a senior planner or whatever, was to actually be a part of seeing housing being built for those that may not have been able to get a house on their own. And you typically do that by partnering with organizations. So the city never does it directly. You have to partner with organizations like Habitat for Humanity and our neighborhood housing agencies and just different other agencies around Alethea House. I mean, you can name a lot of them where they build housing. And to see someone get a house for the first time for their family, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, so I just love community development because there's so many ways that I see that I'm helping by funding an organization, keeping them on track, and they're serving our most vulnerable populations. They're serving our homeless. They're serving our domestic violence victims. They're serving our kids. So they're serving our seniors. We do all that in community development at the city of Birmingham. So I that's just heartfelt. It's something I love to do, and it makes me feel that I'm giving back to my community directly.
Yes. So Amanda, do you have?
To Adrian's point, she made a really good point about taking on a new role that didn't exist before. I think those type of jobs I'm usually attracted to because you can make it your own. And it's not hard to mess up. and there's no, you're not so constrained to certain boundaries. And so I think that's one of the things that attracted me a lot to this role that I'm in now, and like the instant gratification of things. Like working in long range planning, y'all all know it's just like a long, drawn out process. And a lot of no's. And I like to Adrian's point, I like to see the houses being built right then and there. I want to see the person getting the keys to the house. I want to see that child no longer trucking through the mud to get to school, but they walking on the sidewalk. I like that instant gratification. And so this job gives me that, because I can go on the volunteer line on a Monday and hand somebody a box of food, and I know they're going to be squared away for 30 days. And now I'm going to be motivated to make sure that we can still make sure that that thing happens. And then it also gives me the opportunity to come in with fresh ideas and implement new programs. And so that's something that I'm hoping that I can do and do efficiently and bring the organization up to a 21st century look of how we should be running things, and how we should tailor our ask and conversations dependent upon our donors. So that's what attracted me to this role. And also it allowed me to travel, which I like. I like to get out the office. I can count on one hand how many times I've been in my office since I started a month ago. And it gives me the opportunity to go home all the time. So I'm in Columbia right now, right? And I stopped at my sister's house real quick today to pick up a package. And then at the end of the week, I'm gonna go back to Greenville to my own spot. But that it just gives me that room to breathe and think and be creative in how I decide to act in this role.
Got a quick question that I didn't prep anyone for, but what size populations do each of you serve?
That's a good question. So Harvest Hope serves 20 of the 46 counties in South Carolina. And don't quote me on this number, but I want to say that equates to about 22 or 27 million dollars a year worth of food going out to people. And I can't give a specific number of who we serve because it fluctuates, right? So in 2020, obviously it was super high, and in 2021 at the height of the pandemic. But now that all of those resources that folks got, like on the back end of 2021, like the child tax credit, the $600 extra of unemployment that the federal government was giving, like all of those things have gone now. So we are looking at more than likely getting an increase of additional people needing services. But on a macro scale of things, 20 of the 46 counties in the state is how many folks we serve.
Okay, I was just curious. Like I said, I didn't ask you that beforehand, so but I was just curious as we were talking.
And now that I think about it, I'm sorry, Aaron. Now that I think about it, so we're in the upstate, so Greenville and Lawrence County, just to give you some scale. So Greenville County is about 500,000 people in Greenville County. We're in the Midlands. The biggest city in the Midlands is Richmond County. The biggest county in the Midlands is Richmond County. That's about 300,000 to 400,000 people. And then in the PD, I would say it's probably, with all the counties in the PD, including Florence, it's probably around that 300,000 number as well. So there's the number. I lied. I can't put a small number to it. It's probably larger than that, but that's around about how many people we serve.
Adrian, you know about how many people?
We, our population in Birmingham is a little over 200,000, and based on our numbers, we serve a little over, I think it was like just for our homeless population, I think it was like 1,300 of unduplicated services that you can't duplicate. So I guess in the terms of, we receive approximately like $9 million of total funding, and 99% of the funding that we receive all go to, what HUD calls low and moderate income people. So that's just a significant amount of money. And we only serve those that are low and moderate. 80% of the median income or below. And most of the time it's even lower than that. We only do up to 80 when it comes to trying to get people for housing, because that's the only way you can maintain housing if you're on that upper level. But typically the ones that we serve are those that are 30% of median income and below, because we deal with a lot of seniors and a lot of homeless.
Okay. Wow. Y'all are both just, sounds like making a big impact in y'all's communities. That's amazing. So going back to our questions a bit. So if both of you could go back, what advice would you give yourself right before you took your first professional job?
I would have told myself to go back home for a month and purchase a storage unit for a month and allow myself the breathing room to receive all of the offers that were potentially coming my way. I think I would have been happier if I would have took some roles that presented themselves after I had already took the job in Florida. So if I could go back, I would just tell myself to slow down just a teeny bit. And but it all worked out, right? It all worked out in the end, but that's the biggest thing I would tell myself, is just slow down and give myself the opportunity to receive all the opportunities that were going to come my way.
That's good.
And I would tell myself to apply for all those positions that I disqualified myself for. That way I would have had more opportunities, because I really believe that I could have performed in some of those jobs. I didn't have to come in at that entry level position, and to be open to where I wanted to go. Well, the other opportunities that was not just in the South, because some of those could have been, better opportunities, and apply for everything. Like I said, not just what you want, because you still, when you get out there, you're still learning. You really don't know what your niche is going to be. So I say be open. And I do want to say this too, because I've been doing this for a little while. Don't be so loyal. Amanda, don't be so loyal. So if you get somewhere and after a month and you have another opportunity, don't burn your bridges. But don't be so loyal.
That's right.
If there's another opportunity that comes there and it's better for you, I say you give them that notice, you be honest, and you go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be so loyal.
Some of the best advice that I have ever been given was given to me by one of our faculty. And she told me, she said, at the end of the day, you work for the corporation of Aaron Tidwell, and you have to make the best business decision for the corporation of Aaron Tidwell. And that's honestly what led me to working at TARCOG, and it has been a life changer. So yes. No one's gonna advocate for yourself more than yourself. So that's fantastic advice.
Could I also put a piece of advice in? If I were to go back and tell myself something, I definitely would tell myself, I learned this lesson now currently, but if I go back, I would definitely tell myself not to put myself in second place. I'm gonna elaborate because I'm still learning the whole confidence thing just in my day-to-day life. But I know specifically when I'm going through undergrad and starting applying for jobs, I got discouraged of like hearing my friends get offers, things weren't going through. I had that mindset of like, oh, I just can't do this. And it really limited myself to where I can go. Yes, it worked out in the end. I'm blessed to be in a position where I am. But had I had a drive, had I had a drive to put myself out there to see what can I go, what possibilities are out there, it's endless. One thing I will say, like my mom taught me this, and she taught me this, like your drive is something that no one can give you. You have to learn that yourself. What drives you to be at the place you want to be? And from my end is I'm trying to know like our younger selves we're talking to is our personal selves. Our younger selves are currently the students that are in the program. They're going to be the future leaders of urban planner, things like that. And so like it's great to we're having this conversation and we're able to like instill these gems and these nuggets of knowledge through our community. So I just want to say that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Marley. Also, Marley works here with us at TARCOG, and we're just excited to have him.
I was excited to get the link to the invite. I felt no, I just wanted to come in and just drop gems as I can. I definitely want to let you guys hold the spot. So I just want to just sit back and kind of interject where I can. So yeah.
Got the invite to the
And
bar.
Marley is one of my favorite. I can't call you a student anymore. I can't call you an intern anymore. So he's one of my favorite people, and he is one of those people that also opened my eyes to what he was going through, which was very similar to what I went through leaving the program. So just to be able to talk to him and knowing that, okay, others are going through the same thing, and you all just have to be confident. You have tools, you grasp them, just keep in contact with each other. You're root for each other.
Yes.
The alumni is here, but well, it's no but. We're all alumni, and I think we can encourage each other and rely on each other to continue to move forward, professionally. Marley.
Oh my goodness.
So, what lessons do we want students to take away from today's discussion? We didn't do that.
Choose you.
Choose you every time. Be selfish. Yes.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to click that.
No, I completely agree. Choose you every time, because whoever you work for will always choose themselves.
Yes.
So choose you first and what's best for you. And one thing I can't say this enough about how our alumni community is, and the community that I built while I was a student at A&M, and leaning on that support. I remember going to a conference in Florida, and I was speaking to somebody. They were like a director or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I think in a couple of years, I want to start applying for leadership roles and X, Y, and Z. And this man looked at me like I was crazy and basically tried to tell me I had too much dip on my chip. Versus like maybe a month later, I had said the same thing out loud in one of these platforms that the department was hosting. And Dr. Rootmana looked at me like, of course, like, why wouldn't you apply for a leadership role in a couple of years? Like maybe even today, like you should be doing that. So nobody supports you better than the home team. And keep yourself in these rooms, in this atmosphere, because this is where you're going to get that support. You're always going to get support from home, where other people may not be able to see your vision and your goal. We're going to see it, and we're going to nurture it, and we're going to do everything in our power as an alum, as alums, to make sure that you reach the goals that you're trying to reach. So stay connected would be the biggest takeaway that I've taken from this conversation today.
I have to switch over. My computer's about to die.
Uh-oh.
You were kind of breaking up a little bit, Ms. Adrian.
Sorry, my computer was about to die. So I
Okay.
switched over to my iPhone.
Gotcha.
Do you have any lessons that you want students to take away from today's discussion?
Just mainly echoing what everybody else said. You know, you have to choose you. If you stay connected to your alumni and have that self-confidence that you have gained the knowledge that you need. And don't limit yourself. Apply for everything and go be great and represent the university and the program, because I think we all have the tools that we need to excel in this, succeed in this world as planners in whatever title that it comes from.
I think that's fantastic. And I just love how we've had multiple, I guess this is our second conversation cafe that we've had, and we've had a lot of the same themes that have echoed. Talk to your alumni. Don't be afraid to reach out to your alumni. And then, be selfish with your resources, choose yourself, apply for those jobs, don't disqualify yourself. So I just love how that keeps coming back up. So does anyone have any questions? We have 2 great resources with us today. Does any students on the call have any questions about anything we've talked about?
No question is a dumb question. Just always like to say that out there. Some people like to get discouraged. I used to be discouraged to ask questions, but you don't ask questions you don't know, or stay connected at that. So
You better preach, Uncle Marley. Look at you. So proud. He's so proud. Look at him.
Oh my God, me too. I'm like almost crying over here. I love it.
Oh, look at the growth.
a blessing.
Does anybody have questions? We got Amanda. We have Miss Adrian with us.
So Erin, I just want to, of course, appreciate everybody here. Erin, Phoenix, you've been running this program. I enjoyed myself. I learned a lot from these presenters, how they interested in the planning, how they manage their career. It's very inspiring. Of course, I will also pass this on to faculty members and to students. And of course, I'm glad that today we have more students coming in. So I encourage faculty members to assign their classes to give them extra credit. So yeah, it's good to have more students this time around. And again, it's very important to stay connected with alums, with students. They're engaged, because this year our MURP, our internship, is become required course. So we like to have all MURP students, they get internship. That's why we need to connect with all these employers that may be interested in having our students as interns. So that's why at the end, of course, I like you to welcome our students too, right? To intern in your office, or maybe you too, Amanda. So everyone, I like to stay engaged, stay connected with us, and appreciate everybody. And of course, students who are attending this session, I also appreciate them. And then of course, I will encourage them to come back again for in April 18th. And I like to have more students coming in too. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kamana. And we will, the internship, that's exciting. And I think TARCOG would definitely be interested in discussing that opportunity as well. It looks like William Balderrama has a question for us. It says, how do we inform students that there is more than government planning, especially for those who don't know what they can use their degrees for? I think that's a fantastic question, especially for students that aren't familiar with planning initially.
I would say, again, think about what you want to do, right? And when you're in your classes, and you're receiving information, is think about how you can use those things to do the things that you want to do. And so I remember one of the conversations I had with Dr. Yam was like, Dr. Yam, I don't think I want to be regular city planner. I was like, I wanted to be, it was very specific in the things I was explaining to him didn't really have a job title, right? He was like, yeah, you're not going to find your job on Indeed. You need to go to idealist.org. And that was my first time ever hearing about that website, but that was because I had an idea of what I was wanting to do, and then using my professor as a resource to help me figure out where to start. And then also, when you're looking for jobs and you're applying for jobs, look for those jobs that speak to you. And then determine the skills that you have and how you can use those skills to better that organization. So the jobs that you're looking for, it may not say degree in planning. It may not say community planning. It can be something totally different, but when you read that job description, you say, oh, well, like, or I learned in my community development class that this is how you solve that problem. So tailoring your job search to the things that you want and not to your degree, if that makes sense. Just because your degree is a master's in urban and regional planning, you don't go to Indeed and type in urban planning, you know? So just think about it. I hope that helped.
It did. It absolutely did. I was gonna speak to Amanda's point and say that a lot of, even though planning has been around since like the 1800s, there are a lot of communities that are just now waking up to what planning is. And so when you're looking for jobs, they're asking for a planner without asking for a planner. You just kind of have to filter through a lot of what you're reading. And as Amanda said, it might say something else. It might say, for lack of a better way to put it, economic, specialist or something like that. If you have a knack for numbers or you have an interest in learning about economic development, apply for the job. There are a lot of, even in government, there is a lot of planning involved as far as policy is concerned, but you'll find very few job descriptions that say, we need a community planner to do X, Y, Z, to give us the pulse on what this neighborhood feels or to facilitate a design charrette. There are a lot of people that don't know to ask for us. So we have to take a little bit more of an initiative when we're looking for jobs, especially at the different communities in which we could work, and say, I fit this and I know I do. And even if I don't fit it now, I'm willing to learn what it takes to fit this position. So that is why I am the candidate for the job. I see Amanda with the amen. I'm just very.
There are nonprofit websites that just have job listings. They should look there, because a lot of them, like you say, it doesn't have the planning in the title, but you're looking. I mean, you could be an analyst, you can be a project manager. You're really gonna have to sort of do that search to get, if you don't want to do the typical government planning. There's a lot of consultant, for-profit agencies out here also that are looking for planners, but don't know that planning is the correct title. So just be open-minded and get us to help you. We'll help guide you. If I can't think of the nonprofit organization or website that I used to visit all the time, but I'll find it and I'll send it to you guys so that you all can provide it to the students as another tool to do their research for jobs.
Be fantastic. And Sade King's with us, and she said, "Thanks for the website, Amanda. We'll definitely put it to good use on the job search." So that's exciting.
Another one I like to add real quick. It's called unionjobs.com. An alumni actually put me on to that website, and it's all of like it's organizing jobs on there, management positions, and because it's union based, I think all of them are well paying jobs. So if you want to get into organizing, if you want to step into nonprofit, that's a good resource as well. Unionjobs.com, and they post every day with new jobs in different locations.
And just, I guess going back to William's question is just one other, just I guess very like practical is to make students aware of that planning is more than just government jobs, is to look at our alumni base and what our alumni is doing with a planning degree beyond just government jobs. I know the majority of us on the call today that are alumni are in government jobs, but Amanda's not, and I can think of several people that aren't. So I think that's something else. And if anyone's interested in not being in a government job, let us know and we can connect you with some of our alumni. We would be happy to do that. So that's what we're here for. So anybody else have any questions? Any comments? Oh.
Yeah, that's something that also we try to build up the network of alums, right? It's very powerful if we can, there's as a leverage for our students, for our program. So that's why we appreciate this type of program.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, our network of alums is very vast. Yeah. All right, anybody else have any questions, any comments? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Just kidding, we're accessible by phone or internet.
Aaron.
Sorry.
I'm not a bulldog, but I love you guys, and this is dope to be a part of. Like y'all are cool people. Y'all are cool.
It's great to see everyone
Welcome
thrive.
to the family.
Great as usual.
We have one more question.
No question.
Carter. I hope that's right. What advice do you have for a recent graduate who wants to get their resume together to look for a job but not sure how to go about it?
Send your resume out and ask people to review it.
Yes.
Took the words out my mouth.
You have mine and Phoenix's contact information, send it to us and we'll be happy to.
Yes.
At the bottom.
Yeah. Do we still have the career placement center? They help too. Is there? They don't.
To my knowledge, they used to have it. The career development.
Yeah, I would do both. I would do both. Send it out to us and also see what pointers that they can provide. Yes. That's what y'all paying for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I would say too, I know y'all gonna get tired of me saying his name, but Dr. Yan has a book about how to write a resume. So utilize that. But email him, ask him what's the name of it. That helped me a lot with crafting my resume. And one just thing to remember that Dr. Yan taught me is fold your resume in half, and you want to make sure that that top part is all of your highlights, kind of like a newspaper, right? Like when you get a newspaper, that top part of the newspaper is what they want you to read if you don't read anything else. And so make sure that part is squared away, because I've done recruiting before. And so as a recruiter, you're only going to spend about 60 seconds to 90 seconds or so on a resume, unless it pulls you in and you want to go into detail a little bit more. But make sure that top half, when you fold that paper, is squared away. It speaks to your who, what, when, where, why. You should have it.
Fantastic information. Thank you. Yeah. Let's see here. Sade said, use the planner resume template on the AAMU website too. I think that's fantastic. Let's see. Anybody else? Any questions, comments?
Bring another person with you April 18th. You've been here, you've seen the experience, bring more people. Put your mama on it, as a matter of fact. Come on now. We're building this thing. Invite people.
Yeah.
Tell folks.
Whether they're planning or not, like this information is useful across the board.
That's a good point. You know, if you think they're going to be
So-
interested in planning, bring them with us or bring them with you. And so next month we're going to have Tracy Chapman with us, and we're going to have Sharonica Farr. Did I say that correctly?
I'm gonna say yes.
I'm gonna say yes.
Farrier. It's
Farrier.
Farrier.
Yep.
Barrier. See, Heidi got me.
Yeah. Yes.
And so they're going to be with us. They both work with different military installations. Tracy is actually friends with, or she knows Amanda. They made that connection for me. See, our alumni network is just amazing. So Tracy and Amanda know each other. And is she with the Air Force Base?
Maxwell.
Yeah.
Airport.
Yeah, she's in the Panhandle too. She's around the way from where I was.
Okay, so she's in Florida.
Yep.
Tracy Chapman is, and then Sharonica is in Maxwell Air Force Base.
Mhm.
Okay, so those are our guests for next month. We're excited to have them, and that'll round us out for April. And then give us feedback. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. You have our contact information, and then we can talk with faculty and determine what we look like for next semester. So thank you all for being with us, and we're excited. Thank you to Amanda and for Ms. Adrian Stitt for being with us, and we're excited to be here. So excited to have y'all. Thank y'all for joining us.
Thank y'all. This is great.
Thank you.
Thank you for participating.
Yeah. Thank you. Let me know if I can be of any more
Thank
assistance.
you.
Yes, Miss Adrian, I have questions for you. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Thank y'all. And we'll get this recording sent out, and so y'all will have it. So thank y'all.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, Miss
Bye.
Heidi.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Yes. Uh-oh. Okay. Ooh.
Okay.
Oh gosh.